I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge. We're in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge. We have Tupelo tea over here that Carla's pick at 10 o'clock. She just goes in there and picks something out for me, and I try it and love it. I've got the Vault I'm going to right after the show. Fresh donuts over the Vault. They make them there. Full breakfast menu. Go over there, check it out. Great cup of coffee. I have Jody Nicholson over here at Remax Town and Country Broken Bull. New Blue Home and Gift. And Bruce.
Hey.
How you doing, friend?
Good, and you?
Well, I'm glad to have you. We have the Cub fan. The Cub fan's off to Wrigley Field tonight.
Indeed.
Let me ask you, are you a Cub fan?
Yes, I am.
Well, Brian, you asked a dumb question.
Raised in the suburbs of Chicago. We were there in '69 when they came close, but cratered. That's when the Mets, stormed back from 9 down in September.
Let me ask
That
you,
was a
are
bad
we
year.
running red?
Yes, sir, we are.
All right, because he said we went down for 30 seconds. So you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Tell me, Cubs fan, you're from Chicago, correct?
Yes, suburbs.
Did you want me to say that? I didn't know I was.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Because
I wasn't born there.
Well, I got a text message that said the Cubs have a better record in Chicago than the Republicans.
How true. Yeah, the Daily Machine and everything that's going on after that. Now Rahm Emanuel. Yeah, they really had a lock on the city forever. I mean, Cook County, the city of Chicago and the surrounding suburbs, has been Democrat, my whole life. So.
Well, one of the it is we got to look at the bright side. You always got to look at the pluses. We did get the movie The Blues Brothers out of it.
That's true.
There is an upside.
Yeah.
I can find an upside. Yeah. I mean,
Sweet home Chicago. Hey.
Right, exactly, right? Orange whip, orange whip, orange whip. There's a friend of mine, Bruce and I are going to talk some politics. A friend of mine, a sheriff, I know where some of them eat lunch. Mm-hmm. And I will go in there from time to time. There might be 5 or 6 around the table. And I always love that part with John Candy in the movie Orange Whip, for everybody when they sit down. And I always go in, I look at the sheriff and all of them and say, Orange Whip. Bruce, we want to wish Rick. Rick is usually with us, but Rick is traveling today to go to Wrigley Field. A lifelong dream of getting to see his Chicago Cubs tonight, and we wish them well. I am thinking to myself that I'm an American League guy, but I am going with the Cubs. Okay, I am going with the Cubs. I'm an American League guy.
Thank you for that.
Now I'm going with the Cubs. I could not even think about not going with the Cubs. That's number one. Number two, I like the DH.
Okay.
See, I like the DH. The DH has paid off for Chicago up in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're going to miss it.
The DH paid off. Who's the guy who's been DH and he's going to be out?
Schwarber.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber.
Rick says, he'll be in center field tonight, will he? I haven't seen the lineup.
No, I've heard he's not cleared for outfield duty.
So the DH tonight, we might not.
I don't know if it's all right to park him while you take the train ride.
I think they allow you to park there if you take the train ride, and I think it's a donation. There's a donation box.
I've seen that.
I think as long as you give the donations,
I don't mind doing that. I just didn't want to get towed off while
No, I don't think they'll tow you off, sir. I think you can. I can't officially say you could ride that train and park there, but I think they take a donation and you.
But
can.
if we see it towed off, we'll film it.
If we see it towed off, we'll go over.
where they took it. I'm gonna need it when I get back.
All right. Hey, Blue Ridge is a live show, folks. Absolutely. Hey, I can't complain. This is what we do in Blue. We help each other, right?
Life in Blue Ridge.
Exactly.
Live with it.
Okay, so past the Cubs, it's 1-1. I think the DH tonight. I hope that's not the loss in the lineup. But then on the flip side, Cleveland's got to bring out their pitcher has to go up and bat.
That's right.
So we'll see. All right, Bruce, the election. First of all, I got a phone call last night. I want to say this. I got a phone call last night from Pennsylvania. I've got some really good ties on the ground. I think you know that if you've been watching the show. And I've got some good ties on the ground. They're asking me. I got some messages. Got particularly a phone call. They're asking me to make sure I tell every viewer they know you're paying attention, to call your friends. If you have a friend out there on election day, the media will call this election early for Hillary. They will start throughout the day canvassing every radio, no matter what, saying that exit polling shows. They will try to deter you in the middle of the day not to go vote. Because look, you got Pennsylvania and Michigan, there's no early voting. Pennsylvania,
Right.
you go vote on the day. So they will try to stop the lines at midday and tell you it's not worth going. I got that message last night. I mean, because they're pumped in Pennsylvania. They think they can win this.
Again, we were talking before, rural versus urban. I mean, that's going to decide the balance. I mean, if urban Philadelphia can counteract, all the rural votes.
Well, Bruce, I'm looking at it because I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking throughout this campaign, Trump's connecting.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
And the media can't figure it out. They can't. I mean, they can't figure it out. There's a portion of the media that can't figure it out, and there's a portion of the media that's so far in the tank they've paid not to figure it out. Those are my words. Okay. That being said, if you look, I know it's not population, but if you look at the map, if you go pull up a map of America and you pull it up by congressional groups, okay, geographically this is a red country,
Yes,
right?
yes,
You would agree.
yes.
Geographically, land mass wise, that map is red. Where are the hot spots of blue? Concentrated Boston. Even look at outside areas of
Northeast,
Massachusetts.
Virginia, Illinois, Michigan,
Well, look
Wisconsin,
at upstate New York.
West Coast.
Look at upstate New York.
Yeah.
It's red. Look at Pennsylvania. There's a blue hot spot over in the Philadelphia. There's a blue hot spot over in Allegheny County, which is Pennsylvania, and all the way through there. It's red.
Yeah.
Will it be enough? I don't know, but it has to be, and I'll tell you why. This is the last election that rural counties in the country have an opportunity to take back this country. That's my opinion. Last chance they have. When Donald Trump says, and I want to hear this, I want to hear your opinion. I'm going to back away. I want to hear this from you. Here's the question I'm going to throw out. If Hillary Clinton was to get elected, Donald Trump says, folks, we keep hearing these people say 2020, who's setting up to run then? He keeps saying, it's over.
Yeah.
You could keep setting that up. What do you think, if Hillary Clinton got elected, would a Republican ever stand another chance running for the White House?
It's going to be very difficult because I think so many things are going to start to happen. How is she going to start to interact with world leaders? Is she going to continue the Obama giveaway and we're the scourge of the world and that sort of thing? How are the markets going to react? 3 months, 6 months, 9 months down the road. I mean, I just have a very bad feeling that things are going to start dominoing, and it ain't going to be pretty.
Well, my thought is anybody that thinks that we stand a chance after this election of getting a Republican in the White House is not realizing or stopping to think that they will next. Right now, there's a chance they could lose. They're going to take all chances away, meaning they will set the election demographics up.
But
It'll never happen again.
The silver lining, though, is, I mean, if she wins, and let's say they're not going to get the Senate, they're not going to have the House, so there'll be loyal opposition. But I think Americans have the advantage then, red Americans, have the advantage that they're going to see all the things that start going wrong. All the stuff that she has said this and done that, done this, said that. All that's going to start to come home to roost. So in 4 years, I mean, where's hope and change got us? In 8, slowest recovery ever.
Right.
Labor participation for us the worst in 50, 60 years.
Right.
What's going to change? I mean, if she starts taxing people to death, there's not enough money in the 1%, the 5%, the 10% to pay for all the stuff she's talking about doing.
Well, you can end this with so many things, but the American people, when I say that in the rural country out here, outside of Atlanta, outside of Charlotte, outside of these areas, we're not buying it anymore. We're not buying it. So let's say Republicans say, well, we're going to we need the House and the Senate because if Hillary was to get elected, we need that to keep her in check.
Yeah.
We're not buying that anymore. That we don't buy that anymore. My thought is we're not buying anything anymore to the point that they're not going to vote for her. I mean, there's something. Rick, Bruce, I'm going for the W. I don't have a plan B. I'm going for the W. There's something that says that he's going to win, and is just a feel and a mood.
Brexit.
I mean, I just don't feel. I don't see. I do not think people are excited to go vote for her, even on her side of the ticket.
I would agree with that. It's just how much the machine can drag people out, bus them to the polls, do whatever, buy them donuts, whatever, you name it. That's, I think, the big question of how much they're going to be able to do that.
That is the thing, folks. And let me give you, Democrats give you code word, and you got to pick up code word. Let me see how I can put this, because usually I don't approach things to a point to where,
Don't put your foot in it now.
I got to be careful. Let me see how I'm going with this. Democrats, the media is letting you know that the problem with Trump in Texas is he hasn't put the ground game in, right? We keep hearing the ground game.
Yes.
The ground game Hillary has in Arizona just dwarfs anything Trump has done. Hillary's ground game is enormous, right? Ground game, right?
Ground game. Operatives.
Okay, right?
Operatives. Offices.
Ground game, her ground game.
Yeah.
Okay, and Trump has not put the ground game in. Okay, let me look at camera. Trump has not put the ground game in necessary to win this election. Translated, Trump has not put the ground game in necessary as Hillary Clinton has to steal the election.
Or translation.
Oh, you got one
Trump
too?
is winning.
I like Bruce's. Last but Trump's winning. Look, the ground game that they're talking, because I want to dovetail off what you said. I think in these bigger markets, okay, they talk about the ground game, but they will do anything, okay? I mean, they will drive city streets and they'll just yell out bus windows, did you vote? No. Get in. Are you registered? No, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
They'll do that. There'll be lines of people because there's a form you fill out, okay? There will be attorneys ready to go to swear that you've got to count those ballots because that person said they were. I mean, their ground game is interesting. So Trump is winning. What do you feel in your travels, the people you talk to? Because that's what I think. I don't think they're polling rural areas of the country. I don't think they are. What do you just feel? I mean, out there.
Well, I think I said on one of the shows before, maybe it was to Rick separately, but this whole thing with polling, where they have 37 Democrats and 29 Republicans and 30 independents, and somehow they poll them and they know how they're going to vote. They believe what the independents tell them. I think the independents are hedging their bets big time, and I think that's where the groundswell is going to come from. So polling, we've gotten down to the point where everyone is just sitting around interpreting the polls. Everyone waits for the big groups of polls to come out, the real clear politics.
Right.
The Fox Wall Street Journal or Wall Street Journal ABC, and then they analyze the numbers. And that doesn't tell you really a whole lot, in my opinion.
I agree with that. And in elections in the past, Bruce, I have, it's about this time that they start talking about looking at which way independents are breaking. Right. It's about this time independents, you wait to see where they're breaking, okay? Well, right now, they're breaking for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, they're
Yeah.
breaking for Donald Trump.
But the other point, to follow up on rural, the other thing with these polls is that they're predominantly in the bigger urban areas.
Absolutely.
You never see a geographic dispersion. Okay, how many Iowa farmers, how many Pennsylvania coal miners, how many fertilizer plant workers in Louisiana, people from all over the country. You don't get that geographic dispersion in any of these polls.
Well, I know now Carbon County, Pennsylvania has a population of 65,000. I call it a rural county. It's still a small county. I mean, as far as it's not a 300,000 population county and not in a, Philadelphia ring of counties outside where I call the BMWs all drive home and park at night.
Is that southern Pennsylvania?
No, that's northeast. That's
Northeast,
northeast.
okay.
That's well. When I say northeast, it's in the northern corridor. You get up around Wilkesboro. You get up in those areas up there that are old coal mining countries.
Yeah.
So I picked Carbon County, Pennsylvania, 65,000 people. Now that was pretty good, and Pennsylvania's a pretty hot state. Now, the one county I talked to in Michigan, it's only a population of 11,000. Okay, that's it. The county, small county, 11,000 people. Okay, but when you get into a county like that, those are the people. When I say that those are the people from Michigan. They are the Michigan people. Okay, and what I'm saying now, both of them, even the one 65,000, I've talked to 3 or 4 already. I'm the first person that's called. They've not talked to a reporter or anybody. Nobody has called and asked them a single question. Yeah. Now, the lady, the place up in Michigan I talked to, I wasn't surprised at that. It's pretty rural, pretty small.
And this is like the registrar of
voters. Right.
Yeah.
It's just like Marianne Connors is over here, and we know her in Fannin County, and she runs the elections right here. Every county has an election department. Every county does. So you go to that county, you call who's in charge of the elections. They can give you the breakdown of how many registered voters they have, how many new registered, or if it's a state that identifies.
And there's no restrictions on that.
No, they can tell you any of that, right? And they'll talk to you. Nobody is. Now, the one in Pennsylvania amazed me. She said, "No, you're the first person that's called at all. There's not been an article written." She said, "There's not been an article written on our county." And this is a county that had 1,000 people switch from Democrat to Republican. That's stuff that's not being polled.
Wow.
And the other one I called, even though it's only 1,000 votes, 500 went for Hillary, 500 went for Bernie Sanders. 800 went for Trump on that side with 17 candidates on the ballot.
Yeah, and going back to the independent point, how many of the Bernie folks are going to really get behind Hillary or go over to Trump or sit down?
Why isn't Bernie out there campaigning? Because he can't headline. And
well, I think he and
Hillary they
are,
made a fool out of him.
Yeah.
And the emails you read, they made a fool out of the guy. I mean, I'm not a socialist. I don't advocate we turn to socialism in this country. But I will say this: I think the way he got treated is just terrible. I mean, a man got out there. He decided he wanted to run for president of the United States. He decided he had a passion and he had an agenda, whether we agree with it or not. And he was talked about in his own party like a dog.
Yeah. Yeah,
the good thing, Donald Trump did it on TV with him standing right next to him. I mean, Hillary Clinton,
but you see the WikiLeaks stuff. I mean, they talk about everybody in the party like dogs.
Here's the funny thing. We had to get WikiLeaks.
What a difference that's made.
But we had to get WikiLeaks to tell us that Hillary Clinton, I got to get this out. We had to get WikiLeaks to tell us that Hillary Clinton thought her opponent was a clown. All we had to do was get a televised debate for Donald Trump to look next to us as a candidate and say, "I think you're a clown," right? Yeah. We didn't have to get WikiLeaks. I mean,
right to the source.
Jeb Bush, you're a low energy. I'm surprised you got enough energy to be on the stage, right? Remember that?
Oh.
Hey, I'm your host, BKP, having too much fun. We're going to break this down a little deeper. What do you think? 706-889-9700. Send me a text message. 706-889-9700. Do you think that Donald Trump will get, this is my thought, that he will get a surprisingly record-breaking amount of African-American votes in the inner city? I think so. Do you think so? Do you think the voting turnout in the inner cities for Hillary will be down? That's why Michelle Obama's out there. That's why Barack's out there. I think so. And do you think rural America will double their vote and bring it home? I think all the above. What say you? I'm your host, BKP. I'm here with Bruce. Thanks, Bruce. Rick, have a safe trip. Enjoy tonight. At least I could get us a hat.
Go Cubbies. Yeah, hats would be
I
good.
think I should get a hat.
Hats. Yeah.
It was orange whip for everybody. I'm your host. We'll be right back after these messages.
This is the big one, the 20% off MSRP model year end clearance at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, with huge savings over $3,600 off the redesigned Malibu. Now just $20,400. Save over $8,600 off Silverado Crew Cab LT. Now just $33,500. 20% off new Chevys. Right here, right now, at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Pizza Hut makes the best pizza in the entire universe, but they won't tell you that. I've been marooned on this planet for a while now. You are an impressive race. Your children know excellent hiding places. Your oceans aren't filled with lava. And you figured out how to combine a grilled cheese sandwich with a Pizza Hut pizza. Surely interstellar travel will soon follow, and then I can finally get back home. Round. Round like home. The grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza, proof that no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Pizza Hut makes great pizza, but they can't tell you what a gift it is. I can. They took a grilled cheese and combined it with stuffed crust pizza. To think, I almost wasn't here to try it.
How did you?
It's not important, Jan. What's important is that I watched the sunrise this morning. Then I got to stand in a room filled with this pizza. And later I'll stare at the ocean. Or maybe I'll learn Russian. Or listen to jazz. Or try my hand at needlework, or open a door for a beautiful woman, or read a human interest story, or make dessert wine, or ride a wild horse, or experiment with watercolors. Eat every slice like it's your last, especially you, Doug. Especially Doug, right? You care about Doug. The grilled cheese stuffed crust pizza, proof that no one out-pizzas the Hut.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Just joking. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from beautiful downtown Blue Ridge, Georgia. I got Remax Jody Nicholson over here, Tupelo T, 10 o'clock. Carla's Pick, Tupelo T, Broken Bull, and New Blue Home and Gift. And Bruce and I are talking politics. Now, the star of the show for the week should be here any minute. Every week at 9:30, our star of the show, the pet of the week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Every Friday morning, Rena brings us a beautiful dog over here that's up for adoption. So we do that at 9:30. And as soon as the show's over, I'm going to be going over to the Vault. Have you been there? Fresh donuts. They're making them right on site. The donuts A full breakfast menu, coffee, the works. Okay. Michelle Obama said Hillary is my girl. Bruce, all right, Hillary has evaporated. 8 points have vanished in 4 days is what they're saying. There's predictions out of Trump.
The race is settling, by the way. It's not tightening, it's settling.
Oh, okay, settling in.
Settling.
Oh, okay. We expected this, right, for it to get close. So the media is looking at that.
They're putting a nice, wrapping on it. Settling.
The Listerine is in case Hillary stops by. Because if you thought, well, all reports, when I say all reports, if you thought what Donald Trump said was nasty, which we did not like, if you thought that Donald Trump used some words that he should not have, Hillary, I understand, is about as foul-mouthed. We were going to get her to wash her mouth out real quick if she showed up. I understand she's about as foul-mouthed as anybody you've ever met.
Supposedly a very hard woman to be around.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is internal through the WikiLeaks. This is internal. This is not like somebody that doesn't like. These are people that are supposed to like her. You're not catching on out there. These are the people that are supposed to like her.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that. You heard what Secret Service code named her plane?
No, what?
Broomstick 1.
Broomstick 1.
Broomstick 1. Oh boy.
All right. Well, that was good. I don't have a drum solo or drum by me. Bruce, we have a week. We will go Monday, the weekend. Do you think? Now, obviously, you don't know. I don't know. But I do not think next week will come and go as it has without something. Something breaks next week. Do you think that? Do you feel something happens next week?
I think there's going to be breaking issues every day leading up to the election day. Sorry?
What side?
Both sides. I think they'll be throwing, more mud at Donald. More women will come forward. This, that, and the other thing. But I think the WikiLeaks thing. The steady boom, boom, boom. I think it's going to make a difference.
If any more women come forward, it'll look like there's as many as on the stage like one of his pageants.
Yeah, exactly. But
so
they will.
I think
they will seize on that and make an issue out of it and blow it up and say, see,
that I think that failed them. I don't think that played. I'm not saying to any women out there. I'm not being derogatory in any way. I just don't think it played well, and me personally, I think it's terrible to treat a woman in the fashion that we hear.
True.
Okay, I do think that, but I think what we have heard, still there's a little questioning. Now, that's where the media jumps on and says, well, you're questioning the victim. I'm not getting down that road. But you understand what I'm saying?
I'm right with you. Yeah, obviously we want to respect our wives, women, girls, daughters, aunties, all that. But, where have these women been? The gal on the plane 30 years ago. You haven't heard boo about any of this stuff, up until 3-4 weeks ago.
I'm going to tell you something. They may throw things through the camera at me and may even be able to hit me, but women I talk to are more vocal than men with their dislike for Hillary Clinton.
Well, you obviously are talking with a lot of women who share the same opinions the women I talk to.
Yeah, and I'm amazed. I'm amazed. I'm amazed because I always tell people, look, let's just go 50 years old north.
I want to come back to Oprah, what she said.
Okay, let's go 50 years old north with women. They fought the fight for pay in the secretarial pool and offices. Mm-hmm. They fought it. Mm-hmm. Now, not being negative to a 22-year-old young lady that just graduated, that has a little attitude. We'll put it there, okay?
Yep.
You go and you meet women that are 50 years old and older. They fought the things of misogyny in these offices. They fought for their equality in ways, and they're not prepared to let Hillary Clinton say, I'm just not seeing it. They're not falling for it. They're not dumb. They're the ones that did the work.
Well, when you see the imbalance with what the Clinton Foundation,
I guess you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and you know, you see what the Clinton Foundation is all about. You know, the good work they do and all that.
Right.
But all these countries that, like, you know, abuse women and don't give them equal rights, and you know, they're big donors, and so she's taking all this money from them. And like I said before, you know, she says this and does that. You know.
Well, okay, you got. I was trying to get to a point, and I wasn't doing a good job with it, and you helped me right there. You take a woman, 60 years old, and Hillary's on a stage saying, "You have to be with me because we're girl power and we need to stay together." And the woman at 60-year-old is saying, "You know, okay, I'm with you, Hillary, but I'm not stupid. And see, when you flew over to this country here, those women can't even drive. They would get killed.
Mm-hmm.
But your foundation took money from them."
Yes.
You understand? So that's why I'm thinking
hypocrisy.
Actually, what I'm saying here, stumbling over all my words, is actually the bottom line is I have more respect for women that they're not dumb. And I think that their campaign says to women, "Oh, you're not smart enough to read corruption. You're not smart enough to read what I've done." I disagree with that. I actually have more respect for women than Hillary Clinton, is my opinion.
Yeah. And if you look at the growing percentage of women that are pro-life,
I feel they're intelligent.
Yeah, just on the pro-life point of view. I mean, that, like, she has a whole bunch of people there who aren't going to vote for her just on that, and I think that's appropriate.
I'm going to. You know how they say, you know, they always tell the preacher, there's two things you don't do. Don't get up in the pulpit and talk about your wife and kids, because you're going to get in trouble when you get home. So you never use them as examples, right? You tell a preacher, don't do
Don't
that,
go there.
right?
Don't go there.
My wife can read, and my wife can make her own decisions, and my wife does. And just ask her what she thinks.
Well, you got to have her on the show, Bernard.
Oh, no, God. Whoa. Trust me, I hear her all the time. Woo. Easy there, Bruce. No, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
She doesn't need me to do this show to say that she's smart enough to understand. She worked in a lot of these offices. She's done this, you know, she has, you know, fought for her paycheck, might I say, and say, hey, I'm worth. She doesn't need Hillary Clinton. You know, she knows how to read, and she could tell what Hillary has done.
Yeah, and I think with millennial women, I know some, obviously, but not a whole bunch, and they seem to be on the same viewpoint that she just doesn't resonate with them with the feminist malarkey. You know, she.
We were talking during the break, Bruce, and you brought up a great point. You like to listen to a lot of talk radio.
Yeah.
And you said you were listening to a pretty popular talk radio host the other day, and there was a caller. Would you elaborate for our audience the caller?
Yeah,
because
the caller,
I really think this is hitting home where I'm going.
The caller was 65 years old, Michael. And he basically said, you know, I'm in Southern Illinois. I'm a Democrat, have been my whole life. I'm voting for Donald Trump, and I know a lot of my friends are doing the same thing, who are Democrats, who have been Democrats.
Right.
So there you go.
So you heard 65 years old. I'm a Democrat. I'm from a Democrat state. I'm a Democrat. And I'm voting for Donald Trump, and my Democrat friends that I know of, they are too.
Exactly. And going back, I wanted to get at the Oprah point in.
Yes.
Counterpoint. You know, this whole thing with Donald Trump is, you know, the devil and Hillary is an angel. Oprah came out, I think, 2 days ago and said, you know, women, you don't have to like her. You don't have to invite her into your home, but vote for her. So you can throw that right back and say the same thing about Donald Trump. You know, you don't have to like him. He maybe never going to cross your doorstep, but you do need to vote for him. It's that important.
Do you think there's polling data, and I don't like to go there because I think it's skewed really bad in some of these polls, but there's polling data that says that his drain the swamp is working. There's polling data that says rigged election is working.
Mm-hmm.
That is resonating. I think drain the swamp. I've said it. I haven't had a chance to tell you. I've said it on my show. When he said drain the swamp, I think there was more Democrats. I mean, there was as many Republicans that got nervous as Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
Because when the swamp water starts to recede,
well,
there may be some Republicans in that swamp.
That's a career industry for lots of those folks in Washington. You know, that's
Right.
That's what they do. I mean, and they don't know anything else. I mean, that's been one of the knocks about having politicians endlessly being in positions of power. They never get out and do anything in the real world. What real world experience do they have to talk about the economy, for one? They've never had a payroll they've had to meet. They've never had to deal with government regulations. They just go up there and blithely write them, and then just want to get elected again and again. So there's a lot of sensitivity, I think, to that.
I have a question for you because we've got a couple minutes here. We're going to have our star of the show, the pet of the week. Rena always brings our beautiful pet from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge.
Constantly being upstaged. It's terrible.
You know what? I'm with you, but I look forward to it. And I've had more people come to me and say, I'm really surprised you haven't left one Friday with the dog. And I have to say, I am too. I'm really surprised. My sassafras would be pretty upset. Bruce, let me ask you, and I don't think I've posed it this way to you. What most, when I say upset, or what in this country, just not Hillary Clinton, not Donald Trump, just the country in itself, what are you as a voter most concerned about, upset the most with, think that needs to be done immediately? I mean, what really is your passion in this election that has to happen in this country?
Well, I'm very concerned with the Supreme Court and how that's going to play out again if Hillary were to get in. I mean, that's very bothersome because, you know, she's there 4 years, 8 years and gone. I mean, what the Supremes could do for the next 25 to 40 years, I mean, is scary. So that really is a big issue for me. And the economy, I mean, they keep talking about the economy, what they're going to do. And even Donald, I don't think, enunciated this very clearly. But I mean, business people want a clear vision down the road. They want 3 to 5 to 7 years of, they want to know what their taxes are going to be. They want to know what regulations are going to be. And that's just not happening. I mean, there's just this fog in the road. And I really wish they would talk more about that. But it's a big issue for me in terms of going forward, because I don't think you're going to get an economic rebound until you have those sort of factors in place.
Well, you know, I have concerns, and I'll say this with tariffs. And if you like history in this country, and you go back to history, and you get into even the Civil War of this country of you know, Southern farmers and exports and imports and so forth, you know, tariffs is pretty deep discussion in the history of our country, okay, and trade. So it's not the number one for me, but you know, our trade imbalances and people being able to go all over the world and trade and do, and I don't like any kind of tax, but I've always been upset with the fact that you can, and we have business people in this country, you can drain the money out of this country. And this might be a populist view, and I consider myself a conservative, but you can drain the money out of this country, take the fruits of what we've given you the opportunity to do as a corporation, move over into a country, get the support of our government to help you any way we can to facilitate with that government, and you know, get somebody to work at averages making $700 a year or $2,200 a year. you're not cheating them because that's what those people are used to making. And the next thing you and I know, now the flip side of that is, well, do you want to pay $900 for a TV or $320 for a TV? I understand where the argument starts to come in. You follow what I'm saying? I do know that, and there needs to be a balance. But I have never been okay with what I call draining the wealth out of this country.
Again, why do corporations do that, though? I mean, because regulations on taxes, on this, on that. I mean, if you cleared the road of a lot of those issues, I think there would be more manufacturers willing to stay here and do it here.
I don't have it pulled up, but I understand with the Carrier air conditioners that are leaving the company, that's leaving, I understand if you look a little closer at that, and I'm not knocking Donald Trump, there's also an issue that Carrier has with a certain kind of coating that the EPA is requiring them to start using.
There are so many regulations.
They said, we're out of here.
Yeah, there's so many regulations that the man in the street, us sitting here, don't know about.
So you take what I'm upset with, which I understand, but then you have reasons why they are fleeing the country. And Donald Trump's going to start. He's not dumb when he says, look, you try to leave, it's going to cost us to get back. He's not dumb. He understands why they're leaving, and he understands that has to be fixed.
I agree.
Supreme Court, I'm with Bruce on that. The Supreme Court is very important. So is many other issues. I'm going to continue Monday with my Rural America Expo that I believe will bring in this election for the Republicans, for Donald Trump. Some Republicans will be left out in the cold. Yes, they will. And some Republicans will be in the swamp as it drains, and some Republicans will be on their last term as he puts in term limits. All the above. Are we having fun yet? I'll be back Monday with that. Now listen, with my Pet of the Week is coming up, but the constitutional amendments in Georgia, if you have not voted yet and you want to know what to vote, how to vote, we're not telling you, but we've done some segments. We've done 2 segments. You can find them on FetcherNews.com. You can find them on our YouTube. I had a segment with State Senator Josh McCoon in Georgia, and we talked about all 4 constitutional amendments. So if you want to look at that before you go vote tomorrow in Georgia Saturday voting, or if you want to look at my segment yesterday, did we name that one yesterday? What did we name it?
With who?
Joeyne.
Oh, Joeyne.
Are you sleeping over there?
Yeah, I named it. It's
okay.
Joeyne's name.
All right, so look up Joeyne there. Joeyne and she came in and she broke down. And Monday I have a lot of information. They're calling it the government school takeover, the Georgia takeover of schools. I want to be careful with that. I have a lot of information on that I'm going to be going through all weekend long. So if you're concerned about that amendment, that's Amendment 1 in the Constitution of Georgia. Monday, we're going to get right back on that if you're not ready to go vote yet. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to talk about high school football. But before we do, we're going to have our pet in the week of the week in here, the star of the show from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Bruce, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it.
Go Cubbies.
Go Cubs. Rick, enjoy the night. Have fun.
Hats.
Yeah, hats.
3 hats.
That's the least we could do.
You gotta get 3 hats.
Three. We got an order in. Orange whip for everybody. Take us a break, Cole.